Bitcoin. It began as a promise of financial liberation, a decentralized currency free from the grasp of governments and traditional banking institutions. But what if its purpose is far more ominous? What if Bitcoin isn't just the future of finance, but the catalyst for a complete collapse of the global economic system? Theories are emerging that Bitcoin may not simply be a revolutionary technology, but a harbinger of a dramatic transition that could destabilize economies as we know them. Since its creation by the enigmatic Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009, Bitcoin has challenged the foundations of the financial world. Its decentralized structure operates outside the control of central banks, relying instead on a transparent, immutable blockchain that defies manipulation. While this has attracted millions of users seeking financial freedom, it has also raised alarms among governments and institutions that see Bitcoin as a threat to global economic stability. Adding to the mystery are the strange activities of dormant Bitcoin wallets. These wallets, untouched for years, occasionally come to life, executing significant transactions with no clear purpose. In 2023, one such wallet transferred a substantial sum of Bitcoin just as global markets faced a sharp downturn. The timing was uncanny, prompting speculation about whether these transactions are part of a larger, coordinated effort to destabilize traditional economies. Bitcoin's history of extreme price fluctuations has further fueled fears of its destabilizing potential. In 2017, as Bitcoin reached record highs, investors began abandoning traditional currencies, triggering instability in emerging markets. While many celebrated these gains, others saw them as a glimpse into Bitcoin's darker potential, not just as a financial tool, but as a mechanism to redistribute wealth in ways that could cripple existing systems. But the real question is, who controls Bitcoin? The identity of Satoshi Nakamoto remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of our time. Was Nakamoto a single visionary, a collective of experts, or something else entirely? Some theorists suggest that Nakamoto's disappearance wasn't a coincidence. If Bitcoin was designed to challenge or dismantle the current economic order, could its creator have been removed to protect the system's autonomy? Or was Nakamoto never human to begin with? Governments around the world have expressed growing concern about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. While some countries have embraced Bitcoin, integrating it into their economies, others have banned it outright, citing risks to financial stability and national security. These responses highlight Bitcoin's disruptive power, a force that has already begun reshaping the global economic landscape. Stranger still are the correlations between large Bitcoin transactions and significant geopolitical events. Analysts have noted that movements of vast sums of Bitcoin often coincide with moments of political or economic upheaval. For instance, in 2021, a transfer of 10,000 Bitcoin occurred mere hours before a major currency crisis in Turkey. Skeptics dismiss these patterns as coincidences, but the consistency of these alignments suggests a level of intentionality that's hard to ignore. These patterns raise unsettling possibilities. Could Bitcoin be more than a currency? Could it be a tool designed to trigger a controlled economic collapse? A reset that would replace traditional currencies with a decentralized system? For some, this transition is not a possibility but an inevitability. The mysterious movements on the blockchain may be the first signs of this shift, a shift that could reshape the financial world forever. As Bitcoin's influence grows, so do the questions about its true purpose. Is it a liberating force or a destabilizing one? If it was designed to challenge traditional economies, who benefits from this disruption? And if its ultimate goal is to dismantle the current financial order, what comes next? While these questions remain unanswered, one thing is clear. Bitcoin is not just a currency. It's a symbol of change, a catalyst that has the potential to bring the global economy to a tipping point. Whether this transformation leads to liberation or chaos depends on who or what is truly in control. As the world becomes increasingly entangled with Bitcoin, the evidence linking its activity to global economic disruptions grows more compelling. Dormant wallets activating at critical moments, large-scale transfers coinciding with financial crises, and the sheer volatility of Bitcoin's value all suggest that this digital currency may be more than just a tool. It could be part of a larger plan to destabilize traditional economies. One of the most puzzling aspects of Bitcoin is the behavior of its dormant wallets. These accounts, often untouched for years, occasionally spring to life, transferring vast sums of Bitcoin in seemingly random transactions. But when analysts study these movements, patterns emerge that are anything but random. In 2022, a dormant wallet transferred 15,000 Bitcoin during a major stock market correction in Asia. The transfer occurred mere hours before the market opened, triggering speculation that the timing was deliberate. Were these movements an attempt to influence global markets, or could they be signs of something even more ominous? Adding to the mystery is the correlation between Bitcoin's price spikes and geopolitical events. In 2019, as tensions between the US and China escalated, Bitcoin's value surged by over 20% in a single week. Analysts noted that the surge coincided with large transactions originating from wallets linked to early Bitcoin mining operations. The timing raised questions about whether these movements were coincidental or strategic. But the anomalies don't stop at market activity. Governments and financial institutions have long viewed Bitcoin as both a threat and an enigma. Its decentralized nature makes it immune to traditional forms of control, sparking fears that it could undermine national currencies. In 2021, the Central Bank of Russia released a report warning that widespread adoption of Bitcoin could destabilize the ruble, describing the cryptocurrency as a direct challenge to the country's economic sovereignty. This perspective isn't unique to Russia. In 2023, the European Central Bank identified Bitcoin as a potential risk to financial stability, citing its ability to facilitate massive wealth transfers without oversight. These concerns highlight a growing realization. Bitcoin's power lies not only in its technological design, but in its capacity to operate outside the constraints of traditional systems. For governments accustomed to controlling monetary policy, this freedom is both revolutionary and deeply unsettling. Adding to these fears are the strange alignments between Bitcoin transactions and political events. Analysts have observed that large movements of Bitcoin often precede moments of crisis. For example, in 2020, a significant transfer of Bitcoin occurred just days before a major announcement by the International Monetary Fund regarding global debt restructuring. The timing was so precise that some theorists speculated about a connection. Could these transactions be signaling shifts in global power, or are they merely coincidences? Theories about Bitcoin's role in a potential economic reset have gained traction in recent years. Some argue that its decentralized nature makes it the perfect tool for bypassing traditional financial systems. If a global financial collapse were to occur, Bitcoin could serve as a lifeboat, an incorruptible system capable of sustaining commerce in the absence of centralized currencies. But others see a darker possibility, that Bitcoin is being used to engineer such a collapse, creating the conditions for a new economic order. One particularly chilling theory suggests that Bitcoin's design was influenced, or even created, by entities seeking to disrupt the current financial system. The anonymity of Satoshi Nakamoto adds weight to this idea. If Bitcoin's creator was acting on behalf of a larger agenda, what might that agenda be? Was Bitcoin introduced to empower individuals, or to destabilize institutions and pave the way for a new form of control? The connections between Bitcoin and global instability are hard to ignore. From its influence on emerging markets to its role in shifting wealth from traditional currencies to decentralized systems, Bitcoin has already begun to reshape the financial world. But the question remains, is this transformation organic, or is it being guided by unseen hands? And if so, what is their ultimate goal? As the anomalies surrounding Bitcoin grow, so does the sense that it is more than just a currency. It's a catalyst, a force capable of triggering profound change in the global economy. Whether that change leads to liberation or chaos depends on who is pulling the strings. And as governments, institutions, and individuals grapple with Bitcoin's impact, one thing becomes clear: the revolution has already begun. The more we examine Bitcoin's disruptive potential, the more questions arise about its true purpose. Could this decentralized currency be part of a larger, hidden agenda to reshape global economies? Or is it a naturally evolving tool that's unintentionally paving the way for a dramatic transition? The anomalies surrounding its behavior suggest that there's more to this story than meets the eye. One of the most intriguing aspects of Bitcoin is its ability to operate entirely outside traditional systems. While this has been celebrated as a form of financial freedom, It also raises concerns about how such a powerful tool might be used or misused. Dormant wallets, long thought to be forgotten relics of Bitcoin's early days, are now seen as potential players in a larger game. When these wallets activate, their transactions often coincide with major geopolitical or economic events, suggesting a level of coordination that challenges the notion of randomness. Take, for example, a series of transactions in early 2024. A dormant wallet containing over 20,000 Bitcoin suddenly became active, executing transfers during a period of heightened tensions in the Middle East. Analysts who mapped the transactions noted that they formed a pattern resembling the shape of a phoenix, an ancient symbol of renewal and rebirth. The timing, combined with the symbolic imagery, led some to speculate that these movements were sending a message about an impending economic reset. Adding to the mystery are the recurring correlations between Bitcoin activity and UAP sightings. In regions with significant mining operations, reports of glowing lights and unexplained phenomena have become increasingly common. Witnesses describe objects hovering near mining facilities, often during moments of high blockchain activity. In one case, a security team at a mining center in Iceland captured footage of an orb-like object moving in synchrony with the facility's energy surges. What could these entities be observing or influencing? Some theorists propose that Bitcoin's blockchain is more than just a financial ledger. It's a tool for transmitting information or signals on a universal scale. If advanced intelligences exist, they might recognize blockchain technology as a secure and incorruptible medium for communication. Could the movements of dormant wallets be part of a larger conversation, one that transcends human understanding? If so, what are these entities trying to convey, and why now? The anonymity of Bitcoin's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, only deepens the enigma. Nakamoto's disappearance after Bitcoin's launch has fueled countless theories about their true identity. Was Nakamoto a lone genius, a collective of visionaries, or something entirely different? If Bitcoin is part of a broader plan, Nakamoto's role might have been to deliver the technology to humanity and then vanish, leaving the system to evolve on its own. But who or what inspired this design? The timing of Bitcoin's emergence adds another layer of intrigue. Released during the global financial crisis of 2008, it offered a decentralized alternative to the centralized systems that had failed so dramatically. But its design seems to anticipate challenges far beyond those of 2008. Its scalability, transparency, and incorruptibility make it uniquely suited for a future where traditional currencies might no longer be viable. Was Bitcoin introduced as a solution to an impending crisis, or was it designed to create one? As these questions grow, so does the evidence linking Bitcoin to global instability. In 2025, a study analyzing blockchain activity identified a series of transactions that coincided with major stock market fluctuations in Asia and Europe. The transactions, originating from wallets associated with early Bitcoin mining, were executed with such precision that analysts couldn't dismiss the possibility of deliberate intent. Were these movements part of a strategy to destabilize traditional markets? Or were they merely the byproduct of a system operating on principles we don't yet fully understand? Some researchers believe that Bitcoin's ultimate purpose is to catalyze a global economic transformation. Its decentralized nature eliminates the need for trust in centralized authorities, making it an ideal candidate for a post-collapse financial system. But others warn that this transformation could come at a high cost. If Bitcoin is being used to engineer a controlled economic collapse, who stands to benefit? And what might the world look like after such a transition? The connections between Bitcoin, economic instability, and unexplained phenomena raise unsettling possibilities. Is Bitcoin a tool for liberation or manipulation? If its movements and patterns are part of a larger narrative, who is writing that story? And as humanity becomes increasingly reliant on this technology, are we moving toward a future of empowerment or control? As Bitcoin continues to reshape the financial landscape, the anomalies and mysteries surrounding it grow harder to dismiss. Its emergence during a time of global economic turmoil, its decentralized structure, and its unpredictable impact on markets all suggest that Bitcoin is more than just a digital currency. Could it be a signal, a tool, or even a catalyst for a much larger transformation, one that threatens to upend the global economy as we know it? The patterns observed in blockchain activity, dormant wallets activating at critical moments, transactions aligning with geopolitical events, and the recurring presence of UAPs near mining facilities paint a picture of a system that may be operating on a scale far beyond human design. If Bitcoin is part of a larger plan, who is orchestrating it and to what end? The possibilities range from inspiring to unsettling. One theory gaining traction is that Bitcoin is a test, a way to measure humanity's ability to adapt to a decentralized system. Its transparency and incorruptibility make it an ideal candidate for a future where trust is no longer placed in centralized authorities but in the technology itself. If this is the case, Bitcoin's success could signal humanity's readiness to participate in a broader, universal network, one that transcends borders, cultures, and even planets. But not all interpretations are so optimistic. Some warn that Bitcoin's design may serve purposes that are not entirely aligned with humanity's interests. Its ability to operate outside traditional systems makes it a powerful tool for bypassing oversight and consolidating wealth in ways that could destabilize entire economies. If Bitcoin is being used to engineer a controlled collapse of traditional currencies, who stands to gain, and at what cost? Adding to these concerns is the enigmatic figure of Satoshi Nakamoto. Nakamoto's anonymity and sudden disappearance have fueled endless speculation about their identity and motives. Was Bitcoin introduced to empower individuals, or was it designed as part of a grander, hidden agenda? If its purpose extends beyond Earth, could Nakamoto have been guided or influenced by forces we don't yet understand? The recurring correlations between Bitcoin activity and global instability raise another unsettling question. Are we witnessing the natural evolution of a revolutionary technology, or are we participants in a carefully orchestrated plan? If Bitcoin's movements and patterns are intentional, what are they signaling, and to whom? The idea that its blockchain could serve as a universal language, a means of communication or coordination, opens the door to possibilities that challenge our understanding of economics, technology, and humanity's place in the universe. As the world becomes increasingly reliant on Bitcoin, the potential for both liberation and disruption grows. For some, it represents the future of finance, a tool for breaking free from the constraints of centralized control. For others, it is a harbinger of chaos, a destabilizing force that could lead to the collapse of traditional economies and the rise of a new, uncertain order. In the end, the truth about Bitcoin may lie somewhere between these extremes. It is a symbol of change, a catalyst for transformation, and a mystery that continues to defy explanation. Whether it was created to liberate or manipulate, its impact on the world is undeniable. And as its influence spreads, one thing becomes clear. The story of Bitcoin is far from over. As transactions flow through the blockchain and dormant wallets activate with cryptic precision, one thought lingers. Are we driving this revolution, or is it driving us? The answer may hold the key to understanding not just the future of Bitcoin, but the future of global finance itself.